welcome to another jam-packed episode on your go-to sports hangout. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Jamie Lim. We've got PVL and UAAP basketball action from top to bottom, so buckle up. This is Starting Lineup.
JD! Puts it on top and hits it nice in the dagger three.
The quarterfinals cast is complete in the PVL Reinforced Conference, and our good friend and volleyball analyst Ayel Estranero joins us to explain how we got here and who are the characters and all of that. Obviously, partner, hindi pa natin alam yung mga matchups that will still be determined by the games. I think by this week we will, but let's talk about certain teams, and top of our conversation would be Farm Fresh. Now, we've had them on the show many times, even in previous conferences. And when Coach Lodi arrived, you really knew there was a direction now. There's a clear mandate of what he was going to do. And with the whole off-season that he had last season and then whole off-season, we knew they were going to be better. But did we expect 6-1? Did we expect them, or did you expect them to be this good?
Well, going into the conference, prior to seeing the reinforced player and how good she is, 6-1 wasn't really in the picture for Farm Fresh because, you know, the usual teams who are big contenders, PLDT, Creamline, Petrogas, Signal, and all the other, you know, up-and-coming teams. But Farm Fresh, they're good. But that 6-1 is their best eliminations finish so far. And I think the biggest reason for that, obviously, aside from Coach Lodi putting more direction into the program, is their reinforced player, Eli Rosso, one of the best reinforced players right now in this conference. Very precise in attacking, very smart, and I think one of the biggest characteristics that also brings out the best of her teammates is her being very competitive and taking each point really seriously.
Yeah, so Ayel, you mentioned si Ellie, and she also has a very good tandem in Tresha. So how far do you think they can take this Farm Fresh team?
Well, they already took Farm Fresh into the second seed, actually tying things with PLDT. So technically, parang number one na rin sila in terms of points and win-loss record. But definitely, they will be crucial players going into the quarterfinals, knockout matches. Trisha Tubu, number one in spiking right now. That's how good she has been in terms of offense, efficiency-wise. When Alohi looks for Trisha Tubu, at most times she scores right away. But Eli Rosso will definitely be that player, reinforced player, that will carry a bigger load of leadership and scoring for the Farm Fresh.
As reinforcements should
always.
do. Okay, two-part question. What kind of leap has Trisha made here in your eyes? Because we all know the talent and all that. And then the Alohi factor here in Farm Fresh.
Big leap in terms of the intangibles for sure. Because we've talked about her skills, attacking, blocking, you know, leaping ability. And then na yun kay Trisha Tubu, we've seen it even back from her UAP days.
Right.
But it has always been her decisiveness, her confidence, her self-belief. And I guess having a setter that is a veteran setter wherein maganda rin yung connection niya with Alohi has really helped her a lot in terms of, you know, her efficiency and her attacking. And I think add mo pa with Coach Lodi, we don't exactly know what's happening in training, but for sure, you know, the small details that she has improved decision-making, what to do exactly at the right moment in terms of situational. I'm sure Coach Lodi is a big factor to that.
So let's talk about Coach Lodi, as you said. Grabe masipag siya eh. So we do see him watching all of the games.
All games,
Yes, live.
Yeah.
And he's big on inspiring the team, bringing inspirational speakers. So how much of an effect do you think he has done?
A big effect, and I'm sure there was an adjustment time for them. Especially that he's a foreigner, his style is different. I'm sure in terms of, not just in terms of system, but in terms of personality also, how you deal with one player, how you make sure they're improving, how you make sure they're grounded. And you see it in their timeouts, and it really showed in their game against Gallery, wherein they were a bit behind in set number one. And Coach Lodi really, put them in place. Like if we're not gonna play better right now. We're gonna lose set number 1. And after that timeout, they had the sense of urgency. They responded right away.
Dire-diretso na.
And I think that's also one thing that is good in their dynamics. Coach Lodi is straightforward, but the girls also are very responsive with his coaching style.
All right, PLDT. Let's talk about the other team that only has one loss, has not tasted a loss in a long time. In a couple of conferences, they lost to a Signal team that was all Filipino, obviously, and then they now just beat Cherry Tigo. 36 points by Savvy Davidson. It's like having a couple of reinforcements there. Tell me about the dynamic. How good is PLDT now compared to the conferences that they were nag-champion sila, partner?
I think of course, we always say this, with a reinforced player in the mix, you take the load a little bit away from the locals to really score big.
Ayaw ni Savvy eh.
But Savvy is the best scoring local right now. But having that player, and we talked about this in the past conference also, Boom, having Kiana D back and Majoy healthy and Fajardo healthy, they have the right mix of players. So Savvy Davison just able to play her game without the pressure, without the really big responsibility of having to score majority of the points for them. And I think that has been the biggest reason why she's able to unleash the best performance that she has. But aside from that, this team has been more emotionally and mentally regulated, especially in high pressure moments. And I think that's their advantage compared to the other teams wherein nakikita mo pa rin nag-rattle in some of the crucial moments of the game.
So in this conference, Ayel, do you think that PLDT is even stronger compared to the past two? So on tour, they were undefeated, and as well as the Invitational, ang dami nilang wins and they're still at it. How do you think they're faring this?
Well, I think they're stronger definitely because, with PLDT, the issue has always been getting into the hump of getting a championship, being in the podium consistently, and with everyone looking healthy, and with Coach Rad being with the team for so long, and he has been there from when they were trying to get the wins and all.
Good point.
He knows how to handle the players. He knows how to handle the big moments also. Who to put in at the right time, who to use at the right time. And again, this is a team full of veterans.
Yeah.
So it's just it for PLDT.
And then they have a reinforcement that blends in very well. Yeah, I love that fact that Coach Raldas won and lost with this group. Okay, the Petrogas, this to me is the Enigma team because we know what they can do, we know what they were, we know what Brooke, and then now a good friend of theirs who've won with them.
Yeah.
But they have had their troubles
Up and down.
also, right?
Yep.
Tell me about them and that win over Capital and how big that was.
For me, that was one of their best games so far, especially that Capital One fought in set number 1. But then with Petrogas, the problem this conference is their consistency and how much they can actually stay aggressive all throughout. And after losing set 1, they were able to show it from set 2 to set 4. They dominated all the sets. And I think the biggest difference would be Tolentino having that good connection with the
Jules
middles.
Tolentino, you
Yep,
mean,
Jules Tolentino, their setter, having that good connection with everyone, especially the middles. Having MJ Phillips in double digits in their past games is, big addition to the scoring of Lindsay and Brooke.
So
And they
happy
will,
for Jules.
Yeah,
I'm
and they
so
will
happy for her.
need that moving forward, especially that all the teams are so strong going into the quarterfinals.
Right.
Yeah, so mabilis lang, Capital One. That was a very good performance, especially in the first set. Top 8 sila. What do you think they can bring to the table?
Well, Capital One is a young team with a really good reinforced player in Sasha Bitsenko.
Yeah.
But so far, it just has been the duo of Bella Belen and Bitsenko yet again. So they will need to find other scorers outside of those two players. If they can do that, they will have a chance to win a quarterfinals.
But no matter what, this has been a good conference for them, right?
For sure. With Coach De Brito
Yeah.
in the second conference with the team, and then the team is able to adapt the system right away. And again, having players who are fighters, Iris Tolenada,
Right.
Bella Belen, Rachel Ostero, Leila Cruz. So, kompleto yung lineup nila. It's all just a matter of having those quick adjustments in game for Capital One.
All right, we're excited for the quarterfinals to begin. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Ayel.
Thank you, Ayel. Now we'll shift to UAAP basketball when we return. Stay tuned. You're watching Starting Lineup. Welcome back to Starting Lineup. The race to the UAAP Men's Final Four is red hot, and we've got basketball analyst Coach Willie Wilson to share his wish list.
He's also red hot, by the way.
Yes. Hello,
I got
Coach.
you. I got you.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
So many games happen in the weekend, but let's discuss first the Saturday games.
Okay.
Beginning with NU versus UE, top seed versus bottom seed. And it was a good showing for NU. It's the first time, they're the first to secure the twice-to-beat advantage for the season. What are your quick thoughts on the game?
Oh, well, they had to come from
Well,
behind.
yeah. I mean, quick thoughts. Okay. First and foremost, UE kept fighting for throughout the entire game. They got to a big lead. The first half, I would say, was theirs. I would say the second half was NU's. In a nutshell, it was, NU not playing typical NU basketball. That first quarter, half of the, maybe 3/4 of the first quarter, it was okay. And then all of a sudden, UE took off. All of a sudden, NU decides to buckle down. I guess they got a little talking to by Coach Jeff
Yeah,
in the
they
locker
didn't
room.
come out for the locker room early, by the way.
Yes, they got a little talking to at halftime, and then you know what? We don't want to go through this when the game is over. So let's play basketball. Let's get it done on the defensive end, and then let's let the defense turn into offense.
Yeah, I'm sure Jeff Napa's words weren't kind
Yes.
at halftime because that was an important game. They had
Yes.
to win that to secure
The
that twice to beat. And for UE, there have been games like this. They've done very well. Actually, when you don't look at the record, they've done very well. LaSalle, where they always had leads, they just could not finish off the opponent. And partly, of course, it's the opponent, but they also have their shortcomings when it comes to finishing off opponents.
I would say it's a mixture of depth and familiarity. So when we talk about depth, I can talk about talent and the amount of talent on the team. And then when I'm talking about familiarity, I'm talking about how many times have we been in this situation and how many times have we overcome. Okay, so we're down or we're up, and then we finish the game with a win.
Okay.
Or we're down and we come back and we win.
Right.
How many times has that happened in this season so far? None. Okay, so you get into that rut and you start thinking, okay, here we go again, we're up. Where is the shoe gonna fall off, and when are we gonna start losing the game?
Okay, Coach, let's talk about your wish list items. First, for NU, stay on the gas pedal behind Jake Figueroa, who's having an MVP season.
Yes, well, historically, the second half of the UAP season hasn't been too kind to NU. I'm talking about
Good point, yeah.
going back to
Right.
the last couple of years where they go throughout the first round, they're number one. Second round comes along, and then they start to dip.
Yeah.
This season has been different. They maintain the momentum all throughout. Okay, so early in the season you had UST and Ateneo at
Yeah.
the top.
They
NU
were
wasn't,
silent.
yeah,
They were silently,
NU wasn't
yeah.
far behind. They were
Right.
just there cruising,
Right.
winning big games.
Yes.
Then the second round comes along, the schedule lines up. They have the toughest matchups at the start, and they win. And then now they finish with the top two. So my wish is that they maintain this trend that they've started for themselves this year. Stay sharp, and keep their eyes on the prize.
All right, UE, last one on your wish list for this segment. UE has one more game to go, and it's going to be FEU, the team closest to them,
Yes,
kind of. So
yes.
there's that rivalry, UE, FEU. There's a good chance. What's your wish list for UE?
Well, obviously it revolves around Welo Lingolingo, and he's right now the bona fide guy that's going to carry the team. John Abate is no longer finishing out his season playing. So we just want them to go out with a bang, whether win or lose, show something that can be carried over into the next season, and it's going to revolve around Lingo. He's missed a significant portion of the season. I want him to go out with a bang. I want him to go out sizzling.
Okay, let's jump now to UST versus Ateneo. The first game, triple overtime, but this time it didn't have to take that. And it's their first time to sweep Ateneo since season 61.
Wow,
Quick thoughts, Coach.
Well, I would say big emphasis on the two quick fouls of Kaimani Ladi and Divine Adili, and UST not able to take advantage of that score-wise. The game was close all throughout, even though you only had 4 minutes from Kaimani Ladi in the first half, and I think 6 minutes from Divine Adili. Ateneo with Lars Felvang and Josh Lazaro, they were able to keep it close. But UST stuck to what they do, which is play inside-out basketball. It's your turn, it's my turn. I'm talking about Colin Okoye and Nick Cabanero.
Which is part of your wish list.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
And they were able to
talk about
grind
that.
out the
Yeah.
win. With regards to my wish list, and I talk about the your turn, my turn, okay, it's Colin Okoye's turn to shoot. It's Nick Cabanero's turn to shoot. This game, you had Nick Cabanero facilitating. Okay, because Forsky Padrigao had foul trouble also in that
Right.
first half. So Nick Cabanero put on his passing hat and was distributing the ball. And it was really, really nice to see, fun to watch, because you can't be like, okay, Nick has the ball, he's gonna shoot it. Collins has the ball, he's gonna shoot it. So some variability was nice to see.
All right, quickly for Ateneo, your wish list for them to kind of bring back that magic from the first round. They've struggled one of the last 6. They've only won one of the last 6. Who are you looking in terms of your wish list for them?
Well, I'm looking at Kaimani Ladi and Dom Escobar for them to bring back that first round magic. They've been checked largely. Dom Escobar, not much of a scorer, but Kaimani Ladi lighting it up in the first 3 games, and it's been downhill ever since.
Right.
We want them to bring that back and just spark something for the Ateneo community.
40 points is your wish list for them in that next game. We'll see. All right, more UAP basketball and more of the red hot. You have to say
Yes.
the red hot. Coach Willie, when we return here, starting lineup. Welcome back to Starting Lineup. We're still joined by Mr. Primetime, Coach Willie Wilson, breaking down UAP basketball action over the weekend. And what a game we're coming off of with that FEU DLSU down to the last possession pretty much with 2-point-something seconds left in that game. Tell me, what was the difference? And, if I may borrow, what happened in that game that could have gone either way?
I want to give credit to the FEU Tamaraos switching up their defenses. You'll see zone, you'll see man, switching up defenders on Jacob Cortez. I think this is his worst shooting game of the year.
You're right.
I think 2 for 11 it might have been. But
2 for 14 nga yata.
Or 2 for 14. But the lack of variability on the DLSU side, it's going to be him initiating. It's going to be him actually either scoring or getting his teammates involved. So that's very, very tough for him to have to fight through all of that and all the changing defenses. But you got to give credit to FEU and what they did throughout the entire game. They got up by, I think, 12 points at one point. LaSalle being the well-coached team that they are, they clawed back and they were actually up by 1 at the end of the game, gave up a long pass for a layup. Had an opportunity to win the game at the end.
Couple of times. Couple of shots at goal.
They just couldn't get the ball to fall in, pinball. But then the free throw shooting up around 40% from the free throw line, that has to change for LaSalle.
Right.
Constant topic.
Yeah. Now I want to ask about your wish list for FEU. It's to continue to build around the main 3 guys.
Yeah, I call them the big 3.
They're big 3 now. Yeah.
Very, 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 very fun to watch. You have Kuya Bautista there.
Kuya Joric.
Yeah, Kuya Joric Bautista. And then you have January Pasol, who's, in the running for a mythical 5 seat. And
No
then
doubt.
Kirby Mancopa, who is somebody that I enjoy watching.
Oh, I love watching that
I
kid.
call him
I love watching
Contratempo.
that kid. Yeah.
He's slow, fast. He can handle the ball. He's a triple threat on the floor. Can shoot from the outside, initiate offense, pass. And he can play inside and he plays defense.
Yeah, I love watching Kirby, and he seems like he's unbothered during games.
Cannot speed him up.
And this is great for a team that really lost, obviously, VJ Pre in the offseason to have somebody like this step up. DLSU, how do they recover here? Because everything to play for still for Final Four.
When you really put everything in perspective, they have opportunities to win. And if they can just do their job, knock down their free throws, the talent obviously is there, even though they lost a couple of their main pieces. And it's just sticking with the program, This is the formula. This is what we've done in the past to produce wins. You know,
And you expect Jacob to come up with a big game?
I do expect a bounce back game. I think that they're going to come up with more creative ways to get him free to produce offense for them.
Okay, now, last game of the weekend, UP versus Adamson.
Ooh-wee.
It was a...
You were there.
Yes, I was there. I was in the crowd. Big lead for UP to start, but Adamson was inching back in up to the fourth quarter. Now, what do you think about that whole thing?
UP Adamson, man, they always get themselves into this
But it
sticky
was
stuff.
not your typical UP Adamson game where you have UP trying to run,
Yes.
and Adamson trying to slow. It was largely an offensive game. I want to even shout out two players from Adamson in Ray Allen Torres and Matty Aralon.
Yes. Yes.
My goodness, 5 threes for Matty Aralon,
Right.
3 for Ray Allen Torres, and they were just putting on a shooting clinic. They were just like they're passing the ball, sprinting a la Steph Curry to get it back, and that's actually what brought them back in the game. It was the 3-point shot, something a little different from what you would usually see from a Nash Rosella coached basketball team.
Cedric Manzano inside usually and all of that. Yeah, down to 2, that lead by UP, but UP staying strong. Your wish list for the defending champions include their veteran Harold Alarcon and the newbie Noy Remogat, at least the newbie in UP.
Well, largely shot poorly. You had 1 made field goal for Remogat, and then I think 2 for the other guy that is trending so much for his masterful mid-range game.
Yeah,
But
Harold
Harold
Alarcon,
Alarcon, we want to see a bounce back game from those two because they're so fun to watch.
Look at that form. Look at that form of that jump shot.
You use the word prime time, and
Yeah.
I think those two guys right there are very, very prime time. They're very fun to watch. Thankfully, Jerry Abadiano was consistent throughout the entire game.
POG.
Yep, and in the fourth quarter, I got to give shouts out to Raylin Torres and him.
Ganny Stevens.
Yeah, and Ganny Stevens, rebounding, offensive rebounding, making his layups. But the 3-point shot of Raylin Torres and the turnaround
dagger.
fadeaway.
A la
Kobe, looking like.
I was going to say Alarcon, but you want to say Kobe.
Like Kobe. So you know what? They actually rescued the team.
Yes,
but
they did.
again, for them to be consistent and for them to win the bigger games, the biggest games, they're going to need Harold Alarcon and Ray Remogat to be on their A games.
Yes, now for Adamson, bring the Nash clutch magic back.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Okay, so again, I speak historically. For Adamson to make it into the Final Four, it's came down to the last game. They've had knockout game after knockout game, historically speaking.
That's right.
And Nash comes up, Coach Nash comes up clutch in those games. I think he's second to none when it comes to game planning and preparing for a big game. So I'm expecting to see that this coming game. They need to win this game for them to be, even eligible to have a chance to make it into the Final Four.
Shout out Coach Gilbert Lau too, because those two, right? As you know, those two work
peanut and butter
very well together. Well, thank you very much, and we're expecting an incredible home stretch for the UAAP.
Yes, sir.
We're all
Thank
gonna
you,
be
Coach.
excited.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for joining us. I am Jamie Lim.
I'm Boom Gonzalez, and this has been Starting Lineup.